up.
All right.
And yes, if we change the platinum to gold, then we'll have the amount I thought we had. So
I have a jet.
All right. Stream's going.
what?
The gemstone.
Oh, I thought you said a jet.
Yes, it is a jet, but jet the gemstone, not the airplane.
Not the aircraft.
Sure.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are joining our brave band of adventurers
Already in progress.
as they have split the party.
No, us?
So while Safiel, Raimond, and Dalavash are attempting to get details of the upcoming duel, Mother and Dove have visited House Civis Speaking Stones and basically told House Vidalis that they were paying them a visit in their official capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So while this is going on, or while the other three are off getting
Gallivanting.
getting
I was going to use that word.
shaken down, paying buku amounts of gold for information.
Not as much as she wanted initially. Though.
No,
Oh,
she
yeah.
really shot.
Holy
She
shit.
really shot for the moon until I realized how broke you guys were.
I know.
Well,
But we're collectively not broke, but individually, yeah.
Yes. Well, for level 7 characters, I'd call you pretty. Tomato.
Right.
All right.
Ooh.
The robots took your jobs.
Look
All
at that
right.
place.
You guys head to the training grounds, which serves as the House Vidalis embassy, just outside of Fairhaven. As you approach the sprawling grounds, you see just a massive facility. There are pens with all different types of animals. You see horses, you see cat-like creatures, and all manner of canine type creatures. The grounds themselves are just massive. I mean, you're probably looking at about 60 acres with the whole facility. Much of it is given over to the care and raising of the various animal breeds that they specialize in. You guys probably would have hired like a coach or something like that to bring you out.
Mm-hmm.
And as you wind your way up, you pass, a lot of different members of the house, wealthy-looking individuals with their retinues. It is a very bustling place. And as your carriage approaches the main house, as it winds its way up to the front of the little manor house, you are greeted by someone you might recall from the party at the governor's manse.
I don't recall the name, but I would probably in character.
Yes, you would remember, especially as you had set up the meeting and you would have to give information, that this is Dave Angelia, David Alice. And as even at the manse, she is accompanied by her faithful wolfhound.
As you would expect.
As you would expect.
Ooh, she's got an arched eyebrow. She's suspicious already.
This was before, things like Dolly or Mid Journey. So
Yeah.
I had to get something that matched mostly my ideal. But anyways, as the carriage stops, and the both of you dismount, if you will.
Disembark.
Dave Angelia, yeah, there you go. Dave Angelia greets you with a very formal bow
Mm-hmm.
and welcomes you to the embassy of House Vidalis.
I will respond with the proper etiquette. Whatever
Same.
that may be.
I hope your journey was not troublesome.
Not at all.
It is so good to see members, the Arbiter take interest in this matter. I'm very hopeful that you will settle it peacefully so that some of the troubles that affect the other houses do not come here to Fair Ander.
It is my hope to achieve such a goal in the timeliest manner possible.
She inclines her head graciously towards you. I know you have had a bit of a journey this morning, but the day it is so lovely. Walk with me. I will show you around the grounds as we talk. Yes?
Of course.
All right. And with that, she kind of just starts leading you along kind of a meandering path. You guys pass a massive stable. You don't head into it, but you can see inside, and you can see just row upon row. I mean, it's got to have over 100 stalls in just this one stable, and there are stables or big structures like stables scattered throughout the place.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, you can see, horses being cleaned, horses being saddled, saddles being removed. It's like I said, this whole facility is simply just a hive of activity. There is so much going on, so much to see. And she kind of watches you as you take it in, and you're looking at all of this activity and kind of looking around. She says, as you can see, there is never a want for things to do. Our animals require much of our time.
Trying to think of what I would say in character. I'm definitely going to show the right amount of interest and just take it all in and stuff. This is a whole complex, it sounds like. It's not just
Oh yeah.
All right. So they have like a major headquarters here.
This House Vidal, this is the biggest spot for House Vidalis in all of Corvair.
Okay. All right. So this is like their headquarters for the most part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dave Angelia is the head of the House Vidalis.
Okay. All right.
You are speaking with the most powerful member of House Vidalis.
Okay.
Now, I think I've said this to you all, but it's probably a good reminder. House Vidalis has a somewhat unique tie to Ander. The Queen, who is no longer with us, married the former head of House Vidalis, and to ensure that there was no conflicts of interest or anything like that, he abdicated his position and lost his de Vidalis
Okay.
title, everything. He became simply the queen's consort.
Oh.
And so a new head of the house. Now, he did that in order to, again, make sure that there was no impropriety or anything like that. However, it is well known that House Vidalis has maybe a more esteemed position.
Okay. Yeah, they get favorable
in
treatment.
Onder. Yeah, I mean, not officially, but it's kind of a well-known fact.
Or even if it
that,
isn't, it's perceived that it is.
It is exactly, and it is actually something that does occasionally work against them, right?
Yep.
So, so you guys are walking, and she's politely telling you a lot of facts and a lot of information, and kind of going into some of the details, and I would imagine you guys are politely nodding.
Yeah.
You get the sense that
I would assume I'm also well trained in some of the houses and stuff there. So sometimes I would know what she's already telling me.
Exactly.
Maybe finish the sentence for her, that kind of thing. So to show that I do understand.
Yeah.
This is something we were talking about last week when we didn't play. As I said, the problem with having a 20 intelligence in character, and I don't have a 20 intelligence in real life, is necessarily knowing what I would know.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. You are able
or 18
to
intelligence. Not as high as I thought.
Follow the conversation quite well.
Yeah.
You are able to speak competently, and most importantly, ask intelligent questions. And she does. You definitely seem to be, putting her at ease. Right?
Yeah. I want to make sure that I'm giving off the impression that I do honestly care and want to make sure that this thing goes smoothly for everybody.
So you guys have been walking for a little while. You've made it past much of the larger animals, and
Chris
you're now
is raising his
getting
hand.
Oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Mother.
Question and maybe comment. Would it be in my role to say anything, or do you want me to pretty much stay silent most of the time?
Oh, I'd want you to speak up, for sure.
Okay. So, yeah, Mother probably isn't nearly as well informed, but definitely shows an interest and kind of is very approving of their comments. I am impressed by your industriousness and expertise. This is a well-run, vital operation, I see.
And to that, she nods very graciously to you, and she says, "We take great pride in our animals. May they serve all of Corvair." And she gives you a very gracious nod and thanks you. And she looks very pleased, right? She's quite obviously very proud of everything that House Vidalis is doing, what they've accomplished. She talks about how they've just had good fortune in breeding, that everything is good, like business is booming for House Vidalis. And she's, like I said, she's reasonably probably quite proud of her work, and the work of her house. And as you guys get into, you see some like, what is the word? Aviaries, right?
Yeah, for birds and stuff.
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. You see some aviaries and things like that, and there are smaller, compounds. And she talks a little bit about, some of what they're doing with, birds of prey, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
as well as other animals like, you know, almost like pet style animals, right?
Okay.
Cosmetic, uh, but creatures bred with, higher intelligence and all these different things.
Mhm.
And she's you can tell she's kind of winding down, and you're now away from like the bustle of activity and things like that. And after a break, as you guys, stop to, peer into one of the aviaries, um, she turns to you and she says, "How much do you know of the current situation?"
Not enough. That's why we came to you first.
She nods gravely, and you guys start to walk towards like a small pond. Um, there are animals in the pond. You see swans, and it's actually a decent sized pond. And there are deer there at the pond drinking. It's got a fair amount of wildlife activity, but she just starts to meander along uh, the banks of the pond. And you can kind of tell she's just um, maybe thinking of what she wants to say, right?
I don't
So you guys
push.
give her,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't push. You give her
Nope.
some time,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "As you can see, business is good. We have more stock than we have had in quite some time. Uh, we have in the past always relied on House Orient for the transportation and care of our animals. However, in recent times, we were approached by House Larendar. They now have a fleet of airships that
Sorry.
they say can deliver and care for our creatures um, much more economically. And this is good, but you must understand that, you know, there are pros and there are cons to
Mhm.
each. And we weigh these very carefully.
Do you have a
She kind
pre-existing
of
contract with Orion? Is there a early cutoff clause or a time remaining at stake?
For years we had agreements, but it has been decades since we had a firm contract. To
Okay.
be honest with you, there were no other options.
Mm. Do you
She's watching you, both of you, very, very closely. You can
Mhm.
tell.
Do you happen to know how much of Orion's business is purely through you versus their other contracts with other houses? Cutting ties with them is going to be not a small loss of profit, I'm sure.
Eh. She kind of thinks and looks down for a little bit. My sources tell me that while it would be significant, it is the transportation of our creatures is not the bulk of their business.
Mhm.
As you know, they offer guides, and much of the transportation throughout all of Corvair flows through them,
Mhm.
whether it be by lightning rail or by their galleons. I do not think this would be a major disruption to their house.
Do they
After
provide?
all,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
after all, we must also do what is best for our house.
Of course. Do they provide for care of the animals as well, or do you send your own staff on these transportation efforts?
She points at you like
Mhm.
just, and she says, yes, now you hit upon one of the crux of the issue. House Orient is well equipped to see to the care of our animals. We can trust that not only will they get there, but that they will be well cared for.
Mhm. Now, I can only presume that they have special training and special staffers that are specifically assigned to these tasks, and by moving your operations over to Lorandar, you will potentially be putting a lot of these people out of their specified occupations, shall we say.
She kind of does one of these like with her head.
Right, you wouldn't know how
Uh,
their house would operate
well,
necessarily.
she says to you, the houses, they must care for their animals regardless.
Mm-hmm.
All of their caravans, in even in certain cases, their guides and trackers, all must be trained to handle animals. This would not, again, be a disruption to the normal state of affairs.
No, but you must have some concern that Lorandar won't have the same special care when transporting your animals as Orion has already shown that they are capable of.
And she nods and she says, while they assure us that they will maintain the care of our most precious cargo, it would require us to use some of our own members of our house, at least in the short, to make sure that the creatures are well cared for.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a bit of a cost, but House Lorandar has offered to take over the burden, the majority of the burden of that, as well as offer significant discounts in general transportation.
And how badly is Vidalis concerned with these discounts? Is that the main reason you're considering the changeover?
It is the discounts as well as time?
Because the beginnings of a compromise are beginning to form in my head. Perhaps Vidalis wouldn't need to provide the training for Lorandar. Perhaps House Orion could handle that. In which case you'd continue to pay Orion a small portion of what they were making before, but they'll still be making at least some money for a designated number of years. Keep both houses on the payroll, so to speak. And make the transition much more gentle.
She kind of nods as if it's something that she's strongly considering. We have broached something similar to both houses. And she stops, and the wolfhound, who has mostly been padding along quite silently, sits down, looks up at her, and lets out a small, like, plaintive whine as she faces the pond. So she's kind of turned away from both of you, right? And her wolfhound is just kind of looking up at her, and whining, and she seems to be kind of lost in thought a little bit, until she finally notices the dog kind of whining at her, and she kind of seems to shake herself loose, reaches down, pats his head, and just says, "Oh, Fulmora, you're such a good girl." And she kind of scratches behind the ears. Turning to you, she sighs, and she says, "Would that a compromise were so simple. I am afraid there is much more going on than I think even the council knows." She kind of steels herself and says, "As no doubt you are aware of the tensions between many of the houses. I am afraid that things are quite dire here." And she just kind of looks back and forth between both of you as she says this.
How do you mean?
There have been incidents. And the way she says the word incidents, it's clear she doesn't believe that these are accidents.
Okay. Are we completely secluded from everyone else, like anybody else around? Okay, so it's not like she's holding back because she's afraid we're being listened to.
No, but she does seem to be studying you both very carefully, very closely. Like you, without even needing to roll an insight, I would say that both of you feel that she is feeling you out.
Okay, that's fine.
On how much she wants to say.
Okay. Well, I can assure you I don't know what these incidents are, or I haven't caught wind of them as of this point. Is it between Orion, Lorandar, Vidalis, or other houses?
She nods.
Okay.
There have been terrible incidents, and I'm afraid that we have lost many of our animals
Oh,
due to escalations of accidents. Several caravans, as well as a lightning rail, were involved in very terrible accidents. The cost, you can tell she's very frustrated
Yeah.
and really upset. The breeding lines of some of these losses we will feel for generations. And even the wolfhound next to her, sensing her emotions, just kind of lets out a growling, like it's partly a growl, partly a whine, and it just he's sensing his master's or her master's distress and emotions.
right.
And that is not all. She kind of steels herself and looks at you and says, "We have trialed a few deliveries with House Lirandar, and there was a crash with one of their airships. Both houses blame the others, though the other denies any involvement. And quite frankly, we are getting far behind on deliveries and shipments and promises. It is becoming too much."
So disagreements are about more than contracts, sadly. Do you have any information on or sense on who the culprits could be? Could they be someone other than the houses?
Or a different house altogether that doesn't want to see these animals moved around? Do you have competition with another house as far as that's concerned?
Her brows furrow and she kind of just shakes her head slightly, but she's giving it thought. House Orient is the only house that would that we have worked the most closely with. They use our mage-bred horses in their caravans, and no, I do not. We do not know.
Well, I think that might be outside of the scope of my purview on investigating the larger problem. But I can see your concern on wanting to lock in with a new house if they might be behind some of these issues.
Catch, as you say that, you catch her frown and obvious look of disappointment as soon as you said, this may be beyond my purview or our purview.
Right.
And she stiffens a little bit at this.
However, once we settle the immediate dispute, then we can potentially investigate the larger implications. But as of my visit here, I have to settle or help settle the contract issue. That's not to say you have stumbled on something that is much larger and definitely needs to be investigated at some point.
I fear you will have your work cut out. It will not be easy while there is so much distrust.
Now, out of character, how much power does the arbiter position hold? Like, I'm literally just here to help them negotiate a deal, right? I'm not here to say, all right, this is how it's going to be. You guys need to stop fighting, and this is what we're doing. Right? That's not my...
No. That is within your power. So, for a Grand Arbiter, think of it like a circuit court judge in the Wild West, right? You don't have a major office, but and typical crimes don't come before you,
right?
But grievances do, and while it is always best to have a compromise, at the end of the day, everyone is going to expect that the arbiter will make the final decision after viewing everything. So you are...
So if I was being a dick about it, I could just sign a piece of paper right now saying, that's it, you have a contract with Lorandar, good luck.
Right. Yep.
Okay. So it's also going to be in their best interest.
There would be an appeals process, right?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Right? They could appeal the decision.
Send me a different arbiter. This one sucks.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Or it would go to a higher level arbiter. However, there's not much higher beyond a grand arbiter.
Okay.
So, the chances of your decision being overruled are much lower. I mean, think of it like, the state Supreme Court, right? And the only thing that's left is a federal court, right? So, yeah.
So I can expect to get this kind of treatment from all three houses. Oh, it's so great to see you. Here's...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to just sign something and move on. I'm going to hear everybody out and see what the best idea is. But I think I've struck on an idea I like. with a slow transition. I've been thinking about it for a couple weeks. Assuming I wasn't sure what the nature of the dispute was, but I was pretty sure it was exactly what you've laid out. It makes sense.
So, some things I would like to add in character, if it would be appropriate, and I will make kind of a show of saying basically, with all due respect, Grand Arbiter, and it is only, my place is only as an advisor, this does seem very important if we can help. I'm not sure if we have the resources to, but...
Right, that's my concern.
If we can, this appears to be at the root of issues. Perhaps we should see what perhaps external resources we could contribute to investigation.
We'd obviously
if we cannot ourselves.
Right. It sounds, I'm saying this out of character again, it sounds like it's a big scope problem that's not just located here in Fairhaven. So it's not like we're going to spend 3 years running all over the continent like Scooby-Doo mystery style for something that needs to be resolved seemingly
there
immediately.
Goes my fucking planning now. Jesus Christ.
Just because it sounds like there's a time issue for them. We need to get something resolved in the short term. And then if we can, or if we determine that something definitely needs to be much larger needs to be dealt with, and we can definitely do that. I'm not saying I don't want to do that. I'm just saying in the scope of, our 5-man team sent to Fairhaven to negotiate a contract dispute, it's not. We're here to gather information at this point, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds like too, they've got a backlog of deliveries that need to be made, and they can't just sit back and wait for however long it takes this major problem to be resolved. They need to move stuff quickly.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a you have to meet in the middle here as well as in the actual negotiations and stuff. So I will turn to her and I will say, is there a concern that the animals have a higher survivability rate if they are on the ground versus in the air? Are you personally more leaning toward sticking with the contracts you have?
Because of the time, the overall travel time is reduced. That advantage goes to House Lorendar.
Mm-hmm.
The less time the animals are in a stressful situation or subjected to harsh conditions, the better. And that is an advantage of the airships.
Do they suffer any adverse effects of being in the air?
Mm-hmm. It was minimal, but there are spells and potions that can be used to ease their discomfort.
Dramamine. I cast Dramamine on the... I understand.
May I ask a seemingly unrelated question? Has the nation of Ondair, or groups within, seemed to have much interest in these goings-on?
She gives you a somewhat almost exasperated
Oh, mother, why do you ask these questions? No.
like nod, right?
Okay, yeah.
And she says, "I, as you saw at the governor's ball, there are many political factions which would enjoy seeing our houses behave in a uncivilized manner. It promotes their agendas. It confirms their beliefs that the houses should be relegated to very minor positions within Ondair, or
do they believe private enterprise can raise
perhaps
as good as animals as you do? Because that's what it sounds like they would be suggesting.
it is more that perhaps there would be alternatives to using the houses to transport. There are some who believe that our mage-bred creatures are an abomination, that we are... but those, thankfully, they are the minority, the silent voices, the loud but few.
Mhm.
They push to not use either house, although she just kind of sighs. All of Ander is dependent on the lightning rails. All of Corvair, for that matter. Airships are common. Our creatures are enjoyed by many, including right here in Fairhaven.
Mhm.
As you saw, there are many nobles who visit us, who are interested in breeding, and we care for animals owned by them. We are integrated into all of Undead. We have been for generations, and it is complicated.
Yeah. Where was this crash? Was it nearby?
The first was in Onder, near the south. The second was actually in Breland.
Okay. So less likely to be a corporate-sponsored terrorism, as Mother's implying.
Why is that?
I mean, I suppose not if they want to travel all the way to Breland from here. But I think the bigger the operation, the more people get involved, the more lips flap, the more the conspiracy gets out.
No, if they stow away
True.
on the airship or rail from here,
I
and
suppose
then
that's true.
Unfortunately, in both instances, the elemental lost containment.
Oh,
There was not much left.
That would require some knowledge, wouldn't it?
She gives you a yeah.
Inside
In
job.
all of the history of House Lorandar, these crashes are not common.
Yeah.
Same with the lightning rail. It was not just carrying our animals.
Could I roll or potentially, I guess, roll Arcana or ask if I can't come up with, would control of elemental containment be something that any mage could do, or would it specifically take a dragon mark of one of those two houses?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an Arcana roll.
Okay. No, I didn't. Okay. Oof.
You would not be totally sure. You know, because of your, nature of and your domain, right? You have always been and shown interest in things like, the crystals that control the lightning rail, the containment systems aboard the airships, and you couldn't say. You're just not sure if that's something that you could brute force, or if it's something that would require, the mark of storms, right? That's just not something you could conclusively say one way or the other. You do know that it would be difficult either way, and you can't even be sure that the mark of storms could do that.
Was there an
Because-
official? Go ahead.
No, the Mark of Storm allows elemental control. It doesn't provide just sheer arcane power. And you do think that it would be significant to lose containment from what you know. So it's not it would not be easy to pull off.
Was there an official investigation into the airship crash, or was it chalked up as an unfortunate accident?
Of course, there was investigations in all of the incidents, but nothing has.
Did you mention if there was a lightning rail incident as well?
Yes, there was a lightning.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that.
Okay.
She said the things she said about the lightning rail were that one lightning rail had been had derailed, if you will.
Yeah.
And there it was a massive accident. The animals were lost.
Right.
Passengers were lost.
Okay.
It was a significant incident.
Now they don't have the wreckage anywhere nearby, right?
She frowns. You would have to ask House Orion or Lorandar. I do not know.
Maybe this will be worth looking into after all. If nothing else, we can get someone else from the houses to investigate the wreckage if it's not nearby and get back to us. But I would not assume either of the houses would be purposefully sabotaging their own or their competition's machines at risk of getting discovered and having a giant fiasco. Both businesses would know better than that. They'd be more likely to take the loss and recoup their profits in another business venture than potentially killing a bunch of their own income to sabotage their competition. As someone who represents all 12 houses, I refuse to believe that it is the work of an entire house. Maybe some bad actors inside, but we'd have to get down to the bottom of that first. But you can't completely halt the moving of these animals at this point, or you're going to slow down just everything everywhere. So I would recommend you maintain using Orion in the short term while we figure out what the issue is. It may be slower, but at least they will take care of the animals because they're trained to do so.
Are you talking out loud or are you talking to her?
I'm talking to her, yeah.
Oh, shoot. I thought you were just talking out loud
No.
between you and Chris.
No, I'm thinking that it sounds like I'll talk out loud now. It sounds like they've stopped moving animals altogether right now until things get resolved.
Not quite.
Not quite?
but
Okay.
Yeah. They are only using House Orion right now.
Right.
They trialed a few airships.
Okay. And those are the ones that had accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And well, one of them had accidents.
Okay.
The two airships, they actually did like probably 6 shipments via airship.
Okay.
And 2 of them had accidents.
Well,
suddenly you guys see right before you can talk. See, I thought you were talking out loud, but right
That's
before
fine.
you can broach the subject of, potentially sticking with, suddenly Felmora jerks up and a low growl comes from her throat. And then you see, you guys are facing Dave Angelia and the pond,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, that's not quite what. There we go. And you see Dave Angelia's eyes kind of widen.
Oh.
And you turn, and running towards you is 4 men, or maybe 4 men. You can't really tell, because it is a man and 3 guards who are running towards you.
Okay.
Looking at Dave Angelia, she does not appear to be alarmed, but more concerned. All right.
Yep.
And after a little bit, the conversation just kind of stops, and Felmora, stands up. She was kind of crouching,
Mm-hmm.
and faces them, but is not aggressive towards them. And you see 4 men show up.
Okay, I will just graciously quiet and wait to see what this is going to be.
They are out of breath, panting, and kind of intense. And they give you and Mother one glance, at least the guy in front does, but then bows quickly to Dave Angelia. My lady, there is dire news. And she also gives you and Mother a quick glance before she says, "What is it?" This time he gives both of you a very pointed look.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Out with it! Out with it!" And he nods grimly and says, "It is Edwina de Orien, my lady." And he bows his head. "She has been taken. House Orien is clamoring for the heads of Lorandar. It is..." And he shakes his head. "We have come to get you back. We must take you inside. We do not know what is happening." She just she kind of arches her eyebrow at them, as she is so good at,
Yeah.
and says, "Come, we will go. Arbiter Yezdav,
Yes.
will you accompany us?"
Of course.
Striding swiftly back towards the house, the person that came and got her, he has not introduced himself. He continues to fill her in, and basically says that Edwina was taken on an airship.
Okay.
That House Orien is basically calling for, all members to rise up against House Lorandar.
Okay.
They're calling for her immediate release. Meanwhile, House Lorandar has denied any involvement whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe him.
So you guys head back to the manor, and there is a sending stone, speaking stone. Which one is it? Is it speaking or sending?
Sending.
It's the one you guys don't have.
Oh, speaking, I would guess then.
Yes, I think it's speaking stone. Yeah, sending stones are the Budge version.
Okay.
Speaking stones allow nearly instantaneous communication.
Oh, there we go.
Across massive distances, but they can only be used by House Civis.
Oh.
So you have to have a mark to use them. So
that's a suck.
In every embassy, there are speaking stones with the representatives from House Civis.
Okay. He's the operator. Operators are standing by.
As you get there, more information is coming out. So, House Lorandar has put out that one of their airships has gone rogue.
Oh boy.
That this is not at all sanctioned, and they are offering any and all assistance they can to help House Orien. There has been minor communication from the governor inquiring about the situation and asking to be kept abreast of the situation. And in those communications, it's very clear his disdain and contempt for one of their airships going rogue.
It just feeds into his natural predisposition. Yeah.
One of the scribes approaches you and hands you a sealed envelope.
Okay.
And then, well, first they identify you, but they kind of know that the Grand Arbiter Yezdav was coming here today. So he just, says Grand Arbiter, and he makes it a little bit of a question.
Okay, I will take the envelope.
Yeah.
And is it having anything official on the outside? Anything?
No, it's honestly just a folded piece of paper, but it's like folded in thirds and sealed.
So it's not addressed to me or anything. He's just handing it to me.
No.
Okay.
He hands it to you. Do you break the seal and open it?
Yeah.
Inside is a well-known cipher.
Okay.
And this is from your handler.
Okay. Interesting.
And it is only something that your cell
would know how to
could decode.
Right.
Could decipher.
Okay.
And it says, you must return Edwina de Orien at all costs.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to Mother. Give you a look.
Mother nods.
Yep.
Like, well, of course.
Yep. We need to get the rest of the team together. Now who's with us right now? She's with us. They're with us. We're back in the actual complex.
You're in the complex now, so it's crawling with people, and people are in a panic, and there are even members of you hear shouting, and it's clear that there are members of House Orien and House Lorandar present.
Okay.
And there is shouting going on right now.
I'm gonna say, listen, keep them separated. I don't think either house is directly involved in this right now. Keep the violence to a minimum if you can. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
She gives you a curt nod. We will do our best.
And then I just kind of like motion for the wagon or whatever it is. We need to head back to the city proper and get in touch with everyone else.
Someone catches you.
Okay.
And they run up to you, kind of breaking away from one of the two groups. You're not sure which is Orin and which is Lorandar, although you have a good idea because one is more accusatory and one is more defensive. And someone that you're pretty darn sure is from Lorandar approaches you and gives you a very, very, very formal bow and says, Grand Arbiter, a moment of your time.
Of course.
He bows again. He's very flustered, but he says, are you go to be involved?
I don't see as I have a choice.
I have an airship here. It will get us back faster.
How far away are we from the city?
It was about a 45-minute carriage ride.
Okay, so okay.
It's a big complex. You couldn't have this place in the city,
Okay.
right?
I was like thinking to myself, why would I need an airship if we're just okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. He shouts out some orders. Dave Angelia kind of looks at you and gives you a questioning like eyebrow. Is everything okay? Is kind of what you get.
I will take her to the side if I can.
Yep.
And I'll say, we've been tasked with getting her back and figuring out what's going on.
Of course.
I do more than just to settle disputes.
She gives you a very searching look.
Chris, you might not want to raise your hand because no one's always looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Oh.
An appreciative nod. I am looking at the camera, but unfortunately I'm looking at Dove.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
You're
ahead.
looking at
Mother.
my digital face.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm rolling insight as I'm looking at the guy who was offering the airship, and I actually used inspiration on it. But basically, I'm trying to see, does he look like this is legit, or is he like trying to lure us into a trap or something? Can I tell?
So, it was a brief interaction. There's only so much you can get from just a couple words, but either he is the world's most phenomenal liar, or he is legitimately trying to help.
Okay. Thank you.
As we are heading toward the airship, I want to look back at what's her name, the boss lady,
Dave Angelia.
Yeah, and I just want to give her a reassuring nod, and then just with a wave of my hand, or however you operate the hat of disguise, drop the formal arbiter outfit that I have on, and go into full combat serious mode. To show, yeah, exactly. As I'm like climbing up the ladder or whatever to the airship.
All right. She gives you another very appreciative nod and a small salute. The airship, you can see most of the members of House Lorandar are joining you. You quickly board the airship, and it does not waste any time. The person that approached you earlier is not the captain, but you think he is, one of the higher members of the crew.
Officer, at
he
least.
comes to you and hands you another envelope.
Ooh. All right.
he bows and backs away, leaving you and Mother alone amidst the, typical chaos of
as
the
alone
ship,
as you can be.
ship leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a small ship. Yeah, so you have another envelope.
All right, I will definitely take a
from-
look and then hand it over
All
to
right.
Mother after I read it.
This one is directly from the current head of House Lorandar, and it is a note from Vanes de Lorandar, authorizing whatever you need. that House Lorandar is at your service
Right.
with whatever resources they can give to see the swift recovery of Edwina de Orion.
Right, because they know they didn't do it. They are definitely being set up. And they want to make sure they give us every possible hand. Yeah. Okay. No, you were definitely picking up on things I wasn't, Mother. There's somebody trying to sabotage everybody's house from the inside.
At least 2 possible suspects.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got obviously the purple party, but also the weird undead people showing up these days is not exactly coincidence, I'm thinking. So we need to gather the party before venturing forth.
Not to mention, well, maybe related to the second suspect, but our train suspect.
Oh. Shit, yeah.
Train suspect?
The one who got away from the train that
The Arlen guy,
Oh,
yeah.
they set up us the
I'm
bomb.
trying to forget that guy because that's my house association. So I don't want that to be connected.
Well, there were 3 of them of different houses.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
and one of them was Lorandar.
Okay,
I
I
believe.
didn't remember that part.
That's the guy you captured.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he still owes us.
No, that's not. No. You talking about the favor?
Oh yeah, is that someone else?
That's someone else. That's the guy you found drugs.
Drugs
and
on.
Oh yeah.
you turned a blind eye in exchange for some as of yet unclaimed favor.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Raymond. Oh my god. I might have to go open up Roll20 to remember his name.
Oh gosh.
What?
Oh, I could find it, I'm sure.
He was the guy that looked like what's his name?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
I was going to say, what does this have to do with me?
It was Raymond in disguise.
Now, what day is this stupid duel supposed to happen? Because now we've got a time-sensitive issue and a pesky duel.
Isn't that the word?
I know.
So today is roughly the equivalent of Tuesday, and the
Okay.
duel is on Friday.
All right. We'll try to be
And
back.
oh shoot, I haven't been rolling the game. It is well past 6 o'clock in the morning, so let me advance the time. I would say it's now about about 1:40, and it's still going to take you about 20 minutes to get back by airship.
Okay. I don't have a way to get in touch with
Counting,
these
like-
guys necessarily.
You do not. You could send a message to Tomas, because you have not used your sending stone yet.
Right.
But yeah, you don't have a way to get in touch with your team.
I do have the sending spell.
That's true.
You do.
You want to let them know? Maybe tell them to meet us somewhere? Would you kindly?
Sure, where shall I tell them?
What's a good place we all know? like, where have we been staying? Do we trust the place we've been staying?
Do we trust any place?
Yeah, I know, right?
I was gonna ask the
That's-
same thing.
Do we really trust
Well,
any
another-
area?
Another question is, where can this airship actually land?
So it's well stocked with Featherfall tokens. It could literally drop you off anywhere. But there are docks throughout Ondair because, again, the main capital. So these are the two houses. If you look at here, let me just activate this map. So the biggest lightning rail terminal is in Fairhaven. House Vidalis has their embassy right outside of Fairhaven. And then up here, Stormhome in Ondair is the headquarters of House Lorandar.
Okay. Do we have
What's up, kid?
any lead at all? Just that they disappeared by airship, was it? The airship
By
on Rogue,
airship.
though. I'm gonna seek out the captain as we're traveling.
Okay.
Or somebody looks like they know what they're talking about. Say, do you have any way of tracking your airships?
Hold on. I gotta get something for my kids.
Okay.
Can we take a quick break?
Sure.
All right. I'll be right back.
I have questions, but I'm not there.
Right. That's why I want to gather everybody together because,
Mhm.
you know, we need to brainstorm and think tank here. But I mean, we could probably just have you guys meet us at a airship dock and just have you get aboard.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to figure out if they can let us know, if they can track it. At least we have a destination while we're discussing what's going on.
Yeah, a couple possibilities. I could actually, I think, cast sending to Edwina, but I'm guessing they put a bag over her head or something.
Yeah.
But she might still have information for us about whatever happened.
If she's conscious too.
True.
What level is Scry?
5, maybe?
Scry. Oh, yeah. Really, is that high?
I think it's pretty high. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing.
I think that is right.
I mean, Mother would be the only one that would have it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, scrying is level 5, so I do not
Oh,
have
not
it.
bad for pulling it out of my ass.
Wow.
That's
So you'd
what
have
she
to be
said.
level 10. You'd have to be level 10 to
Or
hit it.
9. Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Level 5? I thought you'd have to be 7.
No, it's you divide it in half and then round down. Because it's like 1 and 2 is first level, and then at 3rd level you get your first, 2nd level spells.
No.
Yeah, so it'd be level 9. Which
I
is
could cast divination and ask a god about something, but
yeah.
Yeah, and isn't there like only a small % chance that they'll actually respond to
I
you?
think so.
Or is that.
that's
Is-
divine
or-
intervention, I think.
Alright.
How does that even work in Eberron if the gods are like basically non-existent?
I
In
think
first
it's more-
edition, any character could do that, and it was a percentage chance based on your character level.
Hmm.
I think the difference may be in Eberron, they don't have, like, avatars of gods running around. They can't directly
Oh.
affect it, but they can let people cast spells.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. How else would you have spells?
It's not like Paladin running around in
That's
Dragonlance.
Right.
Yeah.
Another possibility is we could ask around at the airship docks and at least check when and where the airship left from and where it was last seen.
True.
Oh, locate creature. Oh, 1,000 feet. Oh yeah, I can fabricate things now.
Ooh.
So did you message us yet or no?
I think we'll wait till Nate
Not
gets
yet.
back.
Okay.
But you should probably formulate. I mean, it doesn't have to be in depth. It'll just be whatever the nearest airship dock is. Because, yeah, I don't feel like feather falling down to you. And then having to, climb a rope to get back up?
Maybe they have those flying broom things.
Yes. You said you'll give us anything. We want flying brooms.
Oh, he did mention they do have a surprising number of those flying broom things in Ondair.
Oh, yeah. They're like little mini
Why a
mini
flying
crabs.
broom and not like a flying coach?
Right?
I think they might have those as well, but a broom is portable.
There was a rug.
True.
Oh, sorry.
But a
And you
rug
can
is
roll bodies up
portable.
in rug.
Yeah. Marion.
I love that the range of clairvoyance is specified in this system as 5 to 80 feet.
So you can't do it like closer than 5 feet.
I mean 5,280
Oh,
feet.
5 to
1
80.
mile.
Oh. I thought you meant like from 5 to 80 feet. Like that doesn't seem like really useful, but
Well, in a dungeon environment.
yeah. Pesky duel.
Sorry. That might have been my fault.
The pesky duel.
Yeah.
Well, if it wasn't that, they would have done something else to try to get us.
True.
Yeah, that may be true.
I should have just fought Douche Canoe right then and there at the dinner.
Yeah, right.
You should have. I wish you did.
Just throw back the table, flip
Could
it.
you imagine?
Upset the table and lunge at him with my 1d8 plus 5.
Punch
Fists.
him. Yeah, right.
That's more
First
damage
of
than
all.
I do with my swords.
Eat fists, Deuce Canoe.
Just lob him into the fire.
Yep.
Literally.
His first character's name is Lob. Your next character's name should be Yeet.
Oh my god, that was great.
Only if I can play an ogre.
And hey, can I just say, like, you said you don't have like whatever, like Dove has the 20 intelligence.
Yeah.
You did fucking awesome. Like the questions you were asking.
Yeah, but I've been having like 2 weeks to think about it, so I've been.
Yeah, but still, that was really good. Even some that I'm sure you had to like off the cuff. That was really good. I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit.
I'll take it. Not bad for half asleep.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Do you have any artificial? I don't know.
Am I asking an AI?
Artificial. Kate, are you on caffeine?
Yeah, I had some coffee when I got up.
Are you on alcohol?
No.
Are you on edibles?
Definitely not.
All right, which one of those three are you on, Jamie?
Just alcohol.
I wouldn't touch anything else if I was planning on playing and wanting to focus.
Are you on Encephalon?
I wish.
Me too. For myself. I'm not even sure myself what it is, just that it increases your intelligence in Shadowrun, I think.
Right? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It builds connections within your brain and cross-references easier your mental capacity.
Yeah.
And I believe the higher levels, if you get the level above the basic level, it gives you a task pool.
Yeah.
Which you can use for smart things.
You can tell Jamie doesn't have one.
Well, no, it's just a task pool, but it can be used for like build and repair,
Right.
or computer, or like anything that's intelligence based.
Oh, I should probably just hit the I'm back button. Even though I never left.
Ready check.
Yeah, ready check.
Where-
B, you're back, right?
Yeah, I didn't even see it. Sorry.
I got you.
Yeah, Brian, you're sitting there. Are you back?
No.
Okay. So my apologies for that. You were asking a question to the captain. or
Yeah.
to
Yeah, if there's any way to
the-
track the airships.
He looks uncomfortable. And stiffens a little bit.
I'm not going to blab if it's state secrets. We just need to know how to find this airship.
I assure you, we are working on it.
That's all I need.
Where would you like us to take you?
What's the nearest airship dock where people can board us in or near Fairhaven?
Yep, he gives you a location in Fairhaven.
All right. Make sure Mother gets that so she can,
Yep.
can pass it on.
Who are you sending your message to, Mother?
Good question.
It's going to find out who Mother's favorite is. Here we go.
Oh,
Is it Delavash
It's
or
Lola
is it
Cruz.
Sam?
But it is.
I bet it is. Everybody loved Dalvash. He's the golden boy.
the golden boy.
True.
Listen, I got one voice in my head. I don't need another one.
Good point.
Well, Mother can trust a good man, so Mother will send to Dalavash.
Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And what is the
uh,
message you're gonna send?
The message will be, let me type it out in text.
Mother, a letter's gonna take ages. What are you doing?
Yeah, right.
wondering. Yeah, I probably should.
Shouldn't be that complicated. Just telling them where to go to get picked up. We can fill them in when they get here.
It's mother. There's probably a lot of extra words in there.
Hi, how's it going? Hope
you are well.
Hope your mom's doing good.
How's the weather out there?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Fine. How are you? Everything's fine here.
14, 15, 16. Does
Little Johnny
DeLorean...
first day of school.
Did you ask if we have a DeLorean? No, we don't.
Only a scramjet.
All right, you typing it out in the roll?
It's in
Foundry or-
chat.
Foundry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
You can say it out loud now.
okay. I see. All I saw was have airship, and I was like, is there
Great.
more?
Good for you, buddy.
For you.
And it's from Peggy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all we need.
Yeah.
Crossing the streams again. Crossing the
That's all.
streams.
So, mother here, emergency, come to airship dock name. New assignment, find abducted DeLorean head, have airship.
That sounds terrible. We took just her head.
She lost her head.
All right, I am immediately
What?
horrified.
I
I
don't want to be. Hold on. I don't want to be a part of this group
no.
anymore.
Hold on. I did not say you got the message yet, Dalvash.
You have to stew in the fact you know a disembodied head is somewhere.
We've got two timelines here.
Oh,
I wanted
yeah.
him
Good point.
to say who he was talking to and what he was going to say. But now,
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. It's so funny.
It's in a jar.
okay.
Yeah.
Or in Krang's body.
Why would they abduct it?
Because it still speaks. Like Disney
What's in the
said.
box? What's in the box?
I haven't seen that movie, and even I know what's in the box.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to Okay. Back in Fairhaven. The three of you have spent a little bit of time. You're probably at this point grabbing lunch, awaiting for Alora to return. And return she does. Only this time, she's not dressed like a street urchin. She is clean, hair is braided, and she's in rather fine clothes. Still, a little girl. But she kind of saunters into the tavern or cafe, what have you, wherever you guys decided to break your fast.
Cafe. I demand a cafe.
I was gonna say
It
cafe.
is. Are you indoor or outdoor? I mean, this is
Outdoors.
Outdoor.
outdoors. I love it.
I am having a salad vegetarian wrap.
Oh my
Thank
god.
you very much.
I don't need to eat, but I'm gonna have the juiciest steak they will offer.
I'm having
Medium
a giant
rare.
hunk of raw meat.
Oh.
No
And I'm
plate,
going to
no
look
utensils.
offended.
Slap it on the table. I don't even use my hands. I just go, ha!
Wow.
Very
No, I'm
classy.
kidding. I don't do
Such
that.
culture.
Dalavash wouldn't do that.
You would not.
But I won't go. I'm not going vegan either.
Well, I'll be respectful.
Okay. So you guys are at a small, like, 4-person table, and Alora comes kind of skipping up and just plops down at your table and gives you all just a super cheerful and bright smile. And she's just beaming at all of you.
We don't have more money, if that's what you're smiling about.
Really?
I know who you will fight.
And that would be...
He's not a nice man.
Being associated with the douche canoe, I am not surprised.
It's an orc, isn't it?
Do you say that?
No, because I wouldn't have any context.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sithav Ir-Koran. And she kind of looks at you to see if the name rings a bell.
Does it?
It when it doesn't, she says, he has quite the reputation. They call him the Impaler. Favors the spear. Fights. Dirty. And with that, she gives Dalavash a very, wicked grin.
What is that grin supposed to mean?
She just kind of looks up and says, well, let's just say that the odds aren't in your as she again directs that to Dalavash.
I'm telling you, we bet all our money on Dalavash. And when he wins, we become rich and retired.
Or everyone bets against me and I throw the fight.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said too. Just, then we'll deal
is
with
that your
consequences after?
is that your goal here? Monetary wealth?
It's a joke. Lighten up.
I don't think I will.
She kind of just turns to you,
Someone's wild over there.
Saf,
And
says,
I
Who
bring
brought
out my alm
Grumpy
box.
Pan?
He's a new addition. Let's just say that.
Would you care to make a donation to Dollara?
No.
For her sunshine shall show upon you with great bounty.
That's still gonna be a no from me. But thanks.
So polite.
I also found the rule.
Found what?
The rules that each participant must abide by.
Okay.
Ooh, I like rules.
No magic in items or equipment. For only the gods can judge. And she just makes it dramatic. And then just kind of rolls her eyes.
I rolled my eyes at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I
A
don't roll my eyes.
trial by combat in the classical sense. Only weapons may be used. And she kind of looks at Dalavash again. There's not a lot of places to run in the halls of judgment. So, she nods towards the sheathed blades at your waist. I would use those, not that, as she points to the bow sitting beside you.
Will I not be allowed to bring both in with me?
You can. I'm just saying he's terribly quick.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of places to run. Is there a lot of places that you could climb? Or is it a very flat terrain? Is it a place that we could go visit before the fight?
Of course. It's a courtyard. It's not really a hall. Yet there are pillars and buildings surrounding, but just saying, unless you agree to start at 100 paces, you'll probably only get 1 or 2 shots with that before he's on you.
Player translation, his movement speed is probably higher than 30.
Just say, yeah, he's a fast motherfucker.
Yep.
Do you know?
So he's a monk, or he has the mobile feet. Mobile feet.
Or barbarian.
Or a barbarian.
That's scary. That's a bad thought.
How
Do
big
you-
is this guy?
Not terribly big. He's just vicious.
Barbarian. Do you know what means they have to prevent magic from being used? If there's any like barriers or anything like that? Or if it's just honor?
Each participant will be inspected before the duel.
Magic is instant disqualification.
Yes. Unless it can be removed or dispelled before the fight. During the fight, oh yes. Now, the rules say that the duel will take place until one of the combatants either is dead or incapacitated or yield.
Oh, so if he was to pass out, then it's over. He can't go and kill him? Theoretically?
I don't think there's anything stopping the other combatant from...
Let's just say that in the past, Sithov has been overly merciful. That's why the riding in. She gives you a, very knowledge.
Mercy gets you nowhere.
How many fights has he been in?
Oh. Well, something of this big. I do believe it's the first. However, well, there's a lot of other situations where he has, dueled.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have any more questions, Del?
Have you chosen a second? I'm addressing Dalavash and Saf.
We haven't yet, no.
Can only imagine it would be Mother. Unless you're volunteering.
I would not prefer so, but if you chose me, I understand I am the newest member of this party. I do not quite know the ins and outs of these individuals that I am with yet. But if you choose me as your second, I will diligently do my best.
This is not a hazing that I would wish anyone to be a part of, so I think you're safe. I think Mother is a good bet.
But this mother, does this mother have combat abilities?
Yes,
Yes.
she definitely
Though-
does. They definitely do.
Yes, they do. I believe they have items
That
that are not
Are
magical.
not magical?
I believe so. They'll have to tell us when we see them next. I'm sure it's killing them inside. But I believe so?
I mean, what I don't know, how would someone in worlds what is their profession?
Mothers?
Yes.
Well, they're a cleric? Yes?
A cleric of whom?
In this world, do they have to be a cleric of a person?
Yeah, I mean there are still, so the only real difference as far as deities are concerned in Eberron is that
You can worship like a side, right? Like the sovereign hosts. You could just worship them in general. Or you could individually worship a individual god. Is that correct?
Yes,
So we would know.
but they
who Mother
also
worships.
there's literally because Eberron is kind of outside the typical multiverse. Deities don't ever get involved in Eberron. Religion in Eberron is more like religion in our world, in that it is mostly faith-based. You'll not ever hear or be spoken to directly from your deity, right? But divine magic still works.
Right, well, that still doesn't answer the question, but I mean, it answers the question, but doesn't answer Raymond's question.
Who's your deity, Mother? We would know by now.
Onatar, the god of craftsmen and I think craftsmen and the forge specifically in my case.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem like a very militant deity.
Crafting weapons to be used in battle, I would assume, would have somewhat. If you want to know how to use the weapons that you're making.
You're not wrong.
I'm aware of that fact.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions? I don't know where that came from.
Where what came from?
Nothing. Can't think of anything else.
He tends to use a spear. That's going to give him a range advantage too.
Well, is it a short spear or a long spear?
I think there's only one
I don't think there's a
kind in
difference in 5th edition.
No, I don't think so. I think they're all have reach.
Alora,
Red-
have you seen him fight before?
Oh yes.
What does he do that's dirty? Just dirty hits or maneuvers? Like,
He's like I said, he's fast, and he is just brutal.
Is he
Wow,
human?
Yes.
Does he have a dragon mark?
Not that I'm aware.
So he hasn't used it in a duel.
His uncle is a rather well-established nobleman.
Oh?
There's been
And
some
who is
talk
his
that,
uncle?
Restov Irkoran.
what's their relation to Douche Canoe?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the nickname for Montmarchard. I'm not PG about the way I talk about him. I don't like him. So that's his nickname.
Yes, well, let's just say that he is a big supporter of the Purple Party.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. I wonder if you could get a spear and break it.
Might be hard to do.
Half a spear is still a spear.
Yes, but if he controls it.
More of
And
a
by the way,
javelin.
a spear is not a reach weapon.
It's
Yeah.
not? Oh.
No, yeah, in 3rd edition, I think you had a short spear and a long spear, but in 5th edition, I think it's just a spear, and it's just like a 5-foot spear, not a pole-armed spear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
But it can be thrown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, well, if he loses it, throw it even further. Well, should we go?
If he loses it, I'll guard
Pretty
it.
sure
He doesn't get back to it.
If he throws it, if he's intelligent at all, he's more than capable of a fighter without it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Should we go try and see the layout of this area? Not that I know if it would give you an advantage, but at least thoughts.
Well, it won't hurt.
Well, it's a courtyard. I'm guessing it's square. And it may have some vegetation.
She happened to sit next to Raymond, and she reaches over and kind of picks through and pulls out a cucumber and pops it in her mouth while you're talking.
Excuse me. That is most inappropriate.
Oh my gosh, I love her. Do you have a family that you go home to?
Of course.
Fuck. What if I just kidnapped you? Like, what do you think would happen?
Shall be no kidnapping.
Come on! She's adorable.
No. You represent the houses. You shall be on your best behavior.
You are on a trial. I recommend you do not speak to me in that way.
Excuse me, I am a sentinel marshal. I am the law. Well, all right. That last part I don't say.
Oh, snap.
My statement still stands.
She is just grinning and looking at all of you with just this Cheshire grin on her face.
I love her so much.
Well, I think that concludes our business. Is there anything else I can do?
I'm just gonna... Tomas isn't your dad, right? Just gonna throw that out there into the world.
She like covers her mouth and just giggles. But then says to you in Thieves' Cant,
But I call him daddy all the time.
She is a child! She is a child. Stop.
She says in Thieves' Cant, while smiling at you with a big grin, she says in Thieves' Cant, I think my life would be very different if he was.
Why do you say that?
Do you respond in Thieves' Cant?
Yeah.
Okay. She just shrugs. She says, life is hard. That's all she says.
Now?
Better.
How do you communicate with him?
We have ways. Again, this is all on Thieves' Cant.
Yeah. I'd just like to get him a message, and I don't know if I'd be able to later or not. That's all.
She passes along what in a sense is like her God, it's like her instant messaging handle, right?
Okay.
With the speaking stones. You recognize it for what it is, because she quickly scratches it down on a piece of paper she pulls out of one of her sleeves of her dress. She hands it over and says, in Thieves' Cant, I can't promise a quick response, but when I need to get in touch with him, I usually can. I'm happy to pass along a message.
Just tell him I send my thanks, and that him and I need to have a talk. So if he can get in touch with me, it would be appreciated.
She nods and immediately turns to everyone else and says, "It's been fun. Good luck," she says to Dalavash, "but not too much. Although, would be nice." She kind of touches her teeth. "Maybe I will put a little bit on you."
I'm just
The
saying.
odds would certainly make it a worthwhile investment.
True.
Kick his ass. With that, she waves.
I may be more than I appear.
That you are.
You better be. And she walks away.
You scared yet?
I wouldn't say scared. A little apprehensive, maybe.
I mean, if he's only fighting in, underground rings or whatever, hopefully you can have an advantage to fighting out
The thing
of
is, the word is around is that this guy is so strong and has all this advantage. No one knows what I'm capable of.
But do we know if that's the problem? Was he being boosted by magic before in those scenarios? Is Montmachard giving him anything to make him seem? Has anyone given him anything to make him seem more powerful?
Well, your Montmachard fellow seems a stickler for the rules. I would guess
it would be one if it was in his favor. I don't think he's that honorable.
Yeah.
It may not be honorable, but it is a. It may have to be a stricture that he sticks to. He believes what he believes, so he believes he is right.
True.
So he will not think that he has to rely on immoral ways to win this fight.
This fight, yes. I'm just saying I think you can force a lot of perspective in a role like his to make this man look like what he is.
Yes, if he is dishonest. He may be mistaken in his judgment, but has he been dishonest?
I wouldn't be surprised, but you never know. He's a hothead, so you'll basically, as you saw, has only yelled at us at almost every interaction we've had.
Yes, but he seems to seek judgment upon the laws of the land. Again, it doesn't seem that he is bending them or breaking them. He's only justifying what he sees as correct.
He can also be very single-minded, though.
Short-sighted.
And, yeah. But if this thing is being regulated by other entities or whatever, he might not be able to cheat.
Do you want to go look at the area and see if there's anywhere that you could get higher ground, coverage?
I think we should just go take a look anyway,
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
just so I can get an idea of what we're dealing with.
I mean, how are your abilities without magic?
As long as I'm using my short swords or bow, I'm pretty good, I think.
At that
If I had-
moment, Dalavash, you receive a message from Mother. Emergency. Come to the dock outside of the blah blah blah. We have a new assignment. Find abducted Daorian head. Have an airship.
Please translate that as Dalavash.
I just got a
You can respond,
message
too.
from-
You can respond.
I'm going to tell them first. I just got a message from Mother. Apparently, someone abducted someone else's head. I don't know how that happened. And they have an airship.
Is this another freaking Nikolai situation?
I don't know. This is very cryptic.
Well, what does she want? Someone has a head, do we have to...
She said emergency. Well, it sounds like if someone abducted a head, that person's already dead, so it can't be much of an emergency now.
Well, obviously
Come
they
to-
think it's an emergency.
We have to meet them at some dock, I guess. Some airship dock named
So-
blah blah blah.
have
That's
an
the one.
airship? Do they want us to get an airship? If they want us to have an airship?
Have an airship.
That's a
Have
good
an
question.
Why don't we just go?
Here. Have an airship. Oh, they're giving us
Oh.
an airship when we get
Oh my
there.
lord, I am regretting my life choices.
Well, they said emergency, so we probably shouldn't fuck around.
Yeah. All right. Off we go.
What does someone want with a head? Alright.
It's an Orient
That's-
head, whatever that means.
Can I make like a wisdom check or something to
Yes.
like infer what Mother was saying?
He's like,
Yeah,
please
we all do
do.
that. But
Please be
Like,
like
what
a
would it-
2. Oh, did it work? Oh, normal.
would it be inside
Oh,
of
I got a
straight
6!
wisdom?
I believe exactly what she said.
An abducted head.
Abducted head. Makes for good content, Chris. Don't worry.
Well, I got a 17.
Are you going to take part in this, Raymond?
Me? No, I don't think I would have context on what Mother.
Okay.
I mean, if anything, I would think I would have disadvantage.
All right. So, yeah. Dalvash, you're kind of going back over the words, and you distinctly remember the Daorian. But it still doesn't necessarily make sense because head Daorian.
Mhm.
So you know Deorian is one of the dragon marked houses.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the head of someone with a dragon mark.
So someone abducted someone's head of the Deorian house.
Hmm.
Hopefully still attached to the body.
And we're getting an airship.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't your friend say they have the body? Why would
Who
they say
knows?
head?
Can
It's
you just
Mother.
tell
She's
Mother
kinda
we're on
weird.
our way?
Mother's kind of weird.
I'm getting
You're
that.
off to
I
find
understand.
head.
I understand she's a warforged, but I mean, they're. I don't know what their pronouns are, but
They, them, probably. I believe we tried to stay they, them neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably send a message back.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, might be helpful.
We're on our way. You can explain further when we meet.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Fun with sending.
Okay. Fun with sending. All right. You guys make your way.
Make him away.
I knew that was coming.
I would say that you guys can probably get there just a couple of minutes before the airship actually arrives.
How big is the airship? we got?
Mother, it's a fairly good size, standard size.
Impressive looking beast.
Yeah.
We'll be standing on the prow so they can see us just standing out on the head of the airship. Cloaks flowing in the breeze.
yes.
All
That dove
Dove.
is awful ostentatious, isn't she?
She's something.
You
Dove
didn't
and
make-
Mother, is there anything else you want to do on the ride?
No, just
Okay.
just hang around by the captain. Hopefully he tells me anything that they might know about, or if he gets word on the airship's location.
I will ask, do they have equipment to contact airships that are in transit?
He says all of our ships all of our ships carry a complement of sending stones, but as of yet there has been no response.
So we could ask other ships if they have sighted the rogue airships at least.
Where was it taken from? Here in Fairhaven?
I mean, there's a lot of ships, but there's not a lot of ships. This
True.
isn't like, air traffic control where you got ships landing every 5 minutes.
Departures and arrivals.
Right. Could have the word out, though. Keep an eye out for it.
I'd like to ask him where it got taken from. When did they lose contact with it officially?
He just says, my apologies, but this is beyond my knowing.
Understood.
All right. So again, shortly after the three of you, Dalavash, Safiel, and Raymond, pull up. As you guys are arriving, you see an airship dock with Dove and all that. And the way the docks work is they're usually towers with like docks, right? Because of the elemental rings, you need a fair amount of clearance. The ship typically cannot put down without a cradle to land in. But most of the time they either have ladder ropes if it's hovering, or in this case, you just simply walk down very wide ramps and personnel ladders.
Lower the
Because
gangplank.
of basically the structure allows for heavy carriages to load and unload. There's even an elevator system, so as well as mage rights doing a little bit of prestidigitation or telekinesis stuff.
I will wave
So-
them aboard.
All right, you're gonna have them come up to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys board the airship. Your contact leaves right away, and you guys are all together.
I think the easiest thing for me to do is hand Saf and Dalabash the 2 notes we've gotten.
Okay.
And his-
What is this about a head?
Yeah, I'll start looking over them and be like, this makes much more sense. Thank you. Hand it over to Dalabash.
The head of
Oh, that
How
kind of a
sure
head.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to make these houses look incompetent, or just plain get them in trouble.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, there's a third party that's trying to stir up things in between the houses
Yep.
for their own gain.
I can only
And
imagine
I'll
it's the
point
house
to
that isn't a
bet-
house anymore.
A certain blue plus red color party has something to do with it.
Blue-
That's also possible.
Yeah, there are a few organizations that could be behind this, but first of all, we need to figure out
Same.
where this airship disappeared to, so that we can get this part of the mission done, and maybe we can figure out from there who took the airship, narrow it
How
down.
close is like a House Lorandar information, like place that we could go to ask them where they have dossiers of the ships and things like that?
Like a whole roster?
So
I don't know,
at
but-
every port, like you are, there would be, like a information booth.
Well, there should be registering their
Uh,
comings and
like
goings.
a
but
harbor master?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
One important question might be, is the captain of that ship missing or on the ground somewhere? Or is some other captain
Yes.
missing?
What would it take for a ship to go rogue?
How do we find one?
It would
I mean,
take
are the airships something that anyone can control?
no. It would take a Lorandar pilot.
all right,
So he's either acting with them, charmed or otherwise,
right.
or he is acting with them.
Or maybe hijacked.
Well, we should find out where it was hijacked from and see if it's not too far away, we can ask there for information if anyone saw anything.
Is there how we should go to a Civistone and see if we can get in contact with someone from Lorandar on any of them? I'm just trying to think how difficult, like how many airship stations, ports are there?
Quite a few, I think.
How many airships did Lorandar have?
I'm sure.
They
Hundreds.
definitely
Hundreds?
have hundreds.
Yeah.
They probably have a station at every major city.
Who knows this stuff? Who knows where it came from?
Right. I would have hoped that the captain would have an idea where it was taken from, but then again, not every pilot knows where every plane is either. So,
No, but he might have heard of
yeah. Do we know the name of
heard
the ship?
things like
Well, again, this ship has a sending or speaking stone.
Right, but if they're not
whichever.
responding because it's been hijacked, that's not going to help us.
I mean, we could contact
Well, so again,
aircraft control, basically.
every port like this would have a speaking stone, which is, instantaneous two-way communication
Right.
with House Civis. They wouldn't rely on the sending stones operate just like your sending stone. You can send one message and it recharges at dawn. And they usually carry multiple so that messages can be sent during transit. However, while it's not in transit, they would rely on the House Civis speaking stones.
So who wrote the letter that said from Lorandar that said they will do anything for us, basically?
That one is signed by the current head of Lorandar, Vanes, who you also met at the party.
Right.
They must know what ship is missing, I could imagine.
You could go to their enclave here and...
Yeah, I think we need to get to someone from that house who knows what
All
of their ship is missing.
All you guys would have to do is disembark and head to the Port Authority.
Right.
It's literally 20 yards from where you're at.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of information. So I'm going to take us to the map here, and we're going to zoom in. All right. So just about here, just outside of Fairhaven, the particular airship, which is named the Cloud of Heaven.
Ooh.
It was departing from Fairhaven, but it never, made it to its destination. And what they now know is that at some point, right, the airship made it to the private estate of Edwina. Her household guard were overcome, and she was taken. Word did not go out for some time, so this is now quite some time has passed. They think that this happened around 4 in the morning.
Oh boy.
Are they able to provide a dossier of everyone that was on the ship? That was supposed to be on the ship?
They can provide that, a dossier of everyone that was supposed to be on the ship. However, they already know that several of the crew members have been found dead. In Fairhaven. And they suspect that it is not the original crew.
I'm guessing weapon marks, so straight combat, no. Or magic?
Throat slit,
Okay.
stabs to the abdomen and chest, things like that.
So no,
But
like
they still need the pilot.
yeah.
Not all of the crew has been accounted for, especially the pilot and co-pilot.
What are their names?
It doesn't mean they're working voluntarily, though.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
we're in a world where charm is a thing.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
very
but
true.
it's still important to know.
Yeah. Terran de Lorandar, and that's Teryn.
Tyrion Darrington.
And then also that is the pilot, and then the co-pilot is Arlissa de Larandar. And they are working on locating the ship as we speak. And they ask you to please stand by.
Time is of the essence. Make it quick.
What do you guys want to do while you wait?
Do they have any information from House Orion about the force that attacked them, like how many there were, or what kinds of tactics or equipment they used, things like that?
Not really, because there were no survivors from the guard, the household guard. They were either, now not everyone is accounted for, so it's possible that some were taken in addition to Edwina, but many of her household guards and staff were slain. And even you know, there's not a whole lot of information from the attack. They are working on dispatching clerics to use spells like Speak with Dead.
Mother, do you have... What is that spell? Scrying?
No.
Do you have scrying?
5th level.
No, it's 5th level.
Shit. Does anyone... Could we ask if they have any resources of... Oh, they probably thought of that, though. And they probably know what they look like.
Did they say where the ship took off from?
Fairhaven.
Fairhaven.
Yeah.
And then
Fairhaven.
Edwina's house, and then we don't know what direction after that.
Oh, they abducted her from her house?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was at one of the ports and took her from there.
No.
Okay.
This was a coordinated strike.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do in the immediate,
Not that
or
I
are you
can
just
think
going to
of.
wait a little bit for? Okay. So I would say after about another, just short of an hour, we're going to go with, say, about 35 minutes or so. One of the scribes, because you guys are hanging out near the Speaking Stone. It's busy, beyond busy, because you have people coming in, sending dispatches, manifests. I mean, it's crazy. But a scribe from House Civis runs to you and delivers you another note.
Okay.
It says, we have located the co-pilot, and they are not aboard the ship. They have been, their remains have been located.
Oh.
No.
We are working on locating the pilot.
It doesn't give any details.
Where's... Shit. That was just to us. We don't know if... They didn't say where they were located.
Right.
The co-pilot?
Yeah.
If you guys want, you can go over to the Speaking Stones. They'll give you
Yeah,
priority.
send a reply.
In talking to a representative from House Larandar, the co-pilot was found in Fairhaven.
Okay. So the body's here if we want to check it out.
Yep.
I can't...
But I don't have speed.
Everyone to be being found in Fairhaven. How big is Fairhaven?
It's a pretty decent
Oh, it's
city.
huge.
Oh, fuck.
It's the capital of Ondair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big city.
So, what are the odds they find the pilot in Fairhaven.
Probably
It's
not.
almost
I'm guessing they need him to fly the
Well-
ship unless they have their own.
yeah.
Yeah.
They do say that they're reluctant to say a lot, but they say that if the pilot is found in a similar circumstance, that they will have to start going through their roster of pilots, which will take time. In speaking to them, you do discover they are being very, very, very cooperative. Every pilot registers a clipping of hair,
Oh.
and they work with representatives from House. Shit.
Oh shit! I'm not familiar with this house.
Hold on. It was
It's a very smelly house.
Brian's first house. His first character.
Oh God, what
Madani.
was that? It?
House Madani.
Bodyguards,
Oh,
senters,
yeah.
and inquisitives. Marks of detection. Makes sense.
Yep, the mark of detection. To use scrying, they have on retainer. They have basically a team who have met each and every pilot and co-pilot that they have. They do everything they can to stack the odds in their favor when they use scrying. So it's not like they can go to just any agent. They have to find the agent that is associated with the pilot or co-pilot and attempt to scry. And so it's not a straightforward process. It is well managed. You guys are impressed with the lengths they go to in order to keep tabs on their pilots. And yet things don't move incredibly fast. Because, as you know, it is a fairly high-level spell, which means that there are not a lot of people who could cast it.
Can they land anywhere? Do they have like a rope ladder they just throw over the side?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you're good here.
Yeah.
And they have the Featherfall tokens too.
Right, but so if they want to reuse it, they would have to get back aboard,
Oh, well,
and the
yeah.
Featherfall token wouldn't get
Only
them back
works one
on
way,
board.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They would all have rope ladders. So
Do they have like smaller airships, like launches,
Yes.
or?
yep. Yeah. So I would say in another
Do we have
25
eyewitness?
minutes,
Do we have eyewitnesses?
They're all dead.
they're working
Like
on
from
that.
from the house? Like
Right,
what
they're working
direction
on
did they
that.
leave in?
No, so they're working on getting clerics out that are able to cast Speak with Dead. That's their best option to.
Right, but even from the household where she was abducted from, they
There
killed
was no
everyone.
one- there was, yeah, the only remaining people there. Now, again, not everyone's accounted for,
Right.
so they can't find certain people, but the people that were left were all slain.
I'm wondering if we should go and investigate that scene.
And
So-
they're all dead, right? They're not like undead.
Right.
You mean go investigate where she was taken from, Brian?
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
right.
Should we
Um,
pursue?
a scribe runs up.
See if Orion gives us the same
Uh,
level of cooperation that Lorando has given us.
A scribe runs up and says, "This is for you," and quickly hands a message,
All right.
and all the message says is the pilot has been located.
Oh shit.
That's it?
Yep.
Look at the messenger. Who's this
go
from?
to the stone. Go to the stone.
Okay.
Basically.
Oh, okay. Go, run!
Yep, following instructions.
So, you guys get to the stone. They, in talking with the representatives from Lorandar, they believe that the pilot is with the ship, and it is currently. We're all still here on the map. It is currently right here.
Well, I guess we're not going to be investigating that house because we have a location on the airship. We should probably be getting that direction as quick as we can.
Exactly. Why would they be going that
I
way?
don't know.
Well, they're there. We're here, so we're heading west.
Captain, take us up.
I mean, we did have that map from before.
I thought they would like to chasing each other dots. Like, oh, in real time.
I can't remember where that came from, but
What's
there
that?
was a scroll with a picture that turned out to be Lake Galifar.
That was for the Kalashtar to get the
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
artifact.
All right.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
no.
the location of the ship, I think, is close to. Yeah, it's close to that house where the location of the ship is.
Oh, interesting. Things are starting
Right?
to line
Am
up.
I wrong,
No, I
or-
think you might be right.
No, you are correct. 2 more scribes come up. Well, you're with one using one of the speaking stones, and there is more information coming from the estate. And they mentioned a sizable force. They dropped from the air. Again, it was very early in the morning, about 4 a.m. And there was mention of undead. The second scribe hands the letter to Raymond.
Oh. All right.
I'm just going to use Discord.
It says,
That's okay.
It says, don't trust your companions. FYB.
Oh my.
Great.
Oh my.
Oh, the suspense.
All right, there you go, Raymond.
Question when you're ready, DM.
Yes.
So we heard
Okay.
something about the death of the head of, was it Deneth or Tharashk?
It was.
Oh.
I believe it was Tharask, and Deneth was responsible.
It was not the head of the house.
okay.
So it was who everyone believed would be the
Okay.
next head of the house. And yes, they blamed House Deneth for his death.
Okay, I forget, did we hear where? Oh gosh. Sorry, the problem is I listened to some of Resonance and trying to keep my character and personal knowledge separate here.
I'll help you with that.
Did our party hear anything about the circumstances of his death, or just that he died and Deneth was blamed?
Just that he died, and just that he was blamed. Unlike, now this is totally out of character, right? Unlike Team Resonance, you guys have no idea that there have been any similar instances like what you experienced in the Blight.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. So then I won't say anything. Other than interesting finding that it is close to that temple.
Yeah.
Should we consider it?
Is it such thing as coincidence? I think not.
Who is this letter addressed from?
It would be one of the officers, or
of the Sentinel Marshals.
A higher up of the Sentinel Marshals.
Okay.
A higher ranking Sentinel Marshal, someone who's more of a desk jockey than you are. You're like a 1-star general, sort of, or maybe like a colonel.
I have received word from the Sentinel Marshals that they believe the blood of Vol is involved, and that it says here I shall have whoop, and I lost it. I believe the Grand Arbiter, which is you, shall be of assistance.
Interesting. I think we're on the same path here at the moment. Seems like.
Another scribe runs up with another message to you, Dove.
All right.
Jesus, they're killing a forest with all these scrolls.
Yeah.
This is from your handler.
Okay.
And they are just reiterating how imperative it is that Edwina be recovered, or failing that, retribution and immediate justice before this escalates out of hand. And you can just feel the urgency.
I say, I know! To no one in particular, and I crumple up the note and toss it over my shoulder.
How long
pick it up.
Yeah.
How long is this airship going to take to get it to that area?
They assure you that they can get you there to its location. Hold on one second. Pull up my handy dandy calculator.
Carry the 1. Multiply by the cosine of pi.
In about 4 hours. Maybe just a little bit.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
We better go.
Explore it.
Was that airship in transit still, or had it stopped and was parked?
So with the spell, they have a good idea. So with the spell, it is I mean, I don't know how much you would know, but they can say that they monitored it for a brief time, and it was no longer moving.
All right.
All right, set a course, Captain. Let's get this thing going. Sorry, Dalavash, your duel's gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
shucks.
We'll try to
Okay.
get you back
So
in
you
time.
guys
I don't
head
make
to the
promises.
airship?
Yep.
Okay. There are it's a fairly light crew, but they get underway immediately.
It's
Could
emergency.
we get any way to quickly teleport or transport back to Fairhaven, like a scroll of teleportation or
We're
something?
gonna bind our heartstones.
Like, is there any way to get that?
So that is
Scroll of Recall.
a 7th level spell.
Yeah. Circle of
Um,
teleportation, something like that.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
You'd
What
pretty
level is
much-
Recall?
Recall?
You know, anything transport like that gets up into the 6s and 7s, I think, usually.
It would be expensive.
So
anyway.
that's a
Yeah.
6th level spell.
I'm getting good with guesses tonight.
Yeah. That would also be a fairly. So basically, in Eberron, anything above 5th level is extremely rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything below 3rd level is extremely common, apparently.
Extremely common. So you might be able to arrange that. However, it would take time.
We don't have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry, but this duel is way less important than what's going on right now.
Yeah.
No offense, Dalavash.
No, it's true.
Especially if we find out they're at the root of the problem or part of the problem anyway.
Well,
Yep.
the duel's not for a few days anyway.
Yeah. And it only takes
True.
5 hours to fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they have a
Hopefully.
teleportation circle in
I'm sure they
Fairhaven,
do.
could we get a teleportation circle scroll? That is 5th level, but
Who can cast it?
I guess.
Yeah, it needs to be on your spell list, I think, to be able to cast it.
Okay, good point. Then never mind then.
I mean, I don't know if you can use
Well-
a scroll of a spell that's higher level than you currently know.
Isn't there like a failure rate or a chance of a failure
I think
rate?
so. I'm thinking earlier editions, so it's hard to remember, but I know that
Yeah, I'd have to look.
because now that I'm multi-classed, it's definitely on one of my spells lists.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I can look it up, but
But I don't even know if we could get one anyway. Not in the time we have.
Yeah.
yeah.
We really need to just leave, and we can worry about the consequences of not if we can't get back.
We'll take on the whole city if we have to.
Well,
Yep.
suspect this may be yet another distraction to get us out of the city.
I mean, if it is,
Not much we can
have
do
our
about that when
orders.
we have orders. Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah, so a 4th and a 5th level scroll are rare. 6th, 7th, and 8th are very rare, and a 9th is legendary.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty difficult.
At a moment's
to-
notice to grab a scroll.
Yeah. You know, despite like, as you guys will probably recall, you used a teleportation circle to go from Sharn to
Oh yeah.
Carlacton.
The very beginning. Yep.
And what you'd probably know is how much that cost them.
Yeah.
Like that was a sign of their urgency.
Yep.
Because that is not typically a way that you guys are used to traveling, even in all your years you've been a servitor.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, I don't know how long it would take you, but it would probably take a fair amount of time to try and
No.
arrange.
Yeah.
But if you guys are gonna, then the ship is gonna go ahead and set sail.
Do it. Engage.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are headed off to an unknown location in the western part of Ondair, held near the Eldine Marches. And with that, I will see you next week.
Ooh, cliffhanger. All right, stop in the stream.
All right.